Alright, so today we're going to make some homemade macaroni. It is the original recipe that Thomas Jefferson brought back with him from Europe. He was sent there by John Adams right after his wife died and right before he became Secretary of State. He was appointed as the Minister to France for the United States right after Ben Franklin was for quite a long time. But while Thomas Jefferson was over there, he found a love of Italian food, French wine. He loved the furniture, the lifestyle, everything. So he brought a lot of that back with him to the United States when he returned home. And in fact, he loved macaroni and cheese so much that he tried to design like a macaroni thing, like a macaroni maker, and he drew out a bunch of plans and stuff like that. He also tried to make Parmesan cheese, but it did not end well, so instead he ended up importing both macaroni and Parmesan cheese from Italy to his estate in Monticello. But he did leave us with a great recipe, I hope. I'm the least domestic person in the state of Kentucky, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see if I can actually do it. We're going to give it a shot. And along the way, we're going to share some cool, I find them cool. I think Thomas Jefferson is amazing. But we're going to share some cool fun facts about Thomas Jefferson and some fun facts about thermodynamics because science, it's necessary. Okay, great. We're going to get started. First thing that we need are eggs. Next thing that we need is flour. Next, that was not flour, that was definitely salt, but that's okay, it's magic, you never know what you're gonna get. Okay, the next thing that we need is actually gonna be flour. All right, and the last thing that we need is milk. All right, great. So next thing we're gonna do is mix it all up. I'm gonna read the recipe. It's only 4 ingredients, I don't know if I can mess it up, but there's a pretty good chance I will. So I'm actually gonna half the recipe. It seems like a lot of macaroni. And considering I don't think it's gonna work, we're just gonna half it and see what happens. Okay, perfect. 1 pound of flour. That's an awful lot of flour. But also a cool fun fact, Thomas Jefferson, when he did order his macaroni from Italy, he actually ordered over 50 pounds of it. So I guess 1 pound of flour really isn't that much when you're used to eating 50 pounds of macaroni at a time. Okay, next thing the recipe says is 6 eggs. Okay, so while I'm sprinkling a little bit of salt in there, I'll share another fun fact with you. His daughter, Thomas Jefferson's daughter, Mary Randolph, actually was the one who perfected this recipe for him. I guess Thomas Jefferson really wasn't that much of a chef. But I guess when you're busy, designing a country, you really don't have time to cook. So who can blame him? I guess that's enough salt. It just says a little salt. He was also a man of few words. So, just gonna add a little bit more salt. I guess you can always salt it later. Cheese is kind of salty too. I don't know. I'm not domestic. Okay, what's next? 2 wine glasses of milk. All right, so this is a really cool fun fact about Thomas Jefferson. He actually was a huge fan of white wine. So at first when I read that, I'm like, oh, that could be so variable, but this is a red wine glass, a little bit larger, and this is a white wine glass. So when I remember that he was a fan of white wine, I'm assuming he used a smaller wine glass. And back then, to them, like a glass of wine was like probably about half this size, but we're gonna give it a shot anyway. Actually, I guess not 2 glasses of wine. I mean, 2 wine glasses of milk, just 1 wine glass of milk. All right, let's share a fun fact about thermodynamics. Should I fill it to the top? Yeah, that'll be fine. Since this is all about thermodynamics. Water transfers heat much faster than air. So, and oil is somewhere in between water and air. Actually, people say that you should cook pasta with oil, like in the water. I don't know, water and oil separate, so what's the point of adding the water in there? I mean, adding the oil in there if it's just gonna like rise to the top. But I'm not Gordon Ramsay, so I don't know. But if you want to heat something up quickly, you should definitely boil it instead of putting it in the oven or frying it, because water conducts heat a lot better than air. The more you know. Okay, is that it? Yes. It says work them together without water. Well, we didn't add water, so I should hope that's not an issue. Alright, so while the water fills up the pot, because I 100% forgot to get that boiling, I'm going to share another fun thermodynamic fact with you. So there are underlying ideas about heat associated with the zeroth law of thermodynamics. One of those ideas was expressed by Maxwell, and he is quoted as saying, all heat is of the same kind. So that means basically if A equals B and B equals C, that means A has to equal C. I think that's also a property in mathematics that I can't remember, but that's okay. If A is in thermal equilibrium with B, then every unit of internal energy that passes from A to B is balanced by the same amount of energy passing from B to A. So when that pasta gets in there, now the pasta we buy at the store is already cooked and like hardened. Basically it's just like absorbing the water, the starch is absorbing the water, so the heat has to transfer from the water into the pasta, and voila, you have cooked pasta. And then the cheese melts in a similar way, I'm sure. You know, science. So, I'm gonna put this on the stove, get it boiling, and in the meantime, we have to roll out some pasta dough. Never done that before, so it's gonna be a good time. Just a quick update. It's not going well. This is not quite as easy as Thomas Jefferson made it sound like in his recipe. So we're just gonna keep on rolling. I guess I should just, can I continue to add flour? Most of it's on my hands now. This is why stofers exist. Just a thought. Also, a cool little fun fact about Thomas Jefferson is when he originally made it, he put bourbon in his pasta dough. I'm not gonna put bourbon in this pasta dough, but I'm telling you what, I could really use some wine right about now. This is stressful. This is stressful, so. Okay, so I don't have a rolling pin because I don't cook. So instead, I'm just going to cover it in saran wrap and use a wine bottle and roll it out. Because, I mean, it's already kind of sad looking. Can't get much worse than it already is. Another quick update, I don't have saran wrap. So instead, we're gonna use this Ziploc bag. This is good, this is going really well. Some nice red wine that I will be drinking later because this is extremely stressful for me. So here we have the pasta dough before it goes into the water. And here's that water heating up. Nice and hot. Hashtag science. Okay, so while the water is finishing up boiling, how about one last fun fact / quote from a guest at the White House when Thomas Jefferson was president. This man came over for dinner, and this was his noted comment about Thomas Jefferson's macaroni. So here we go. Dined at the president's. Dinner was not as elegant as when we dined before. Among other dishes, a pie called macaroni, which appeared to be a rich crust filled with the strillions of onion made of flour and butter. with a particularly strong liquor mixed with them. Alright, here's the before. Whew! Things are really heating up. Thermodynamics jokes. Okay, so I pulled a piece out that was floating. We're gonna see if it's cooked and what it tastes like. Hot. Hot. It's very hot. Woo! That is boiling water, but that was very hot. It actually tastes like cooked pasta. Oh my gosh. Wow. Mari Vitali would be proud now. So, coming to a table near you, Thomas Jefferson's macaroni and cheese, brought to you by Thermodynamics.